Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video, folks. This is the second episode in the note guide series, and we are going to continue from where we left off. The idea is that by the end of this mini-series, we will have a complete guide of all of the Explorer notes here on the island. And if you guys want me to make some other guides like this for other DLCs, let me know. Here we are with the first location of this video right now, and this is where I am located. I'm going to show you the surrounding areas so we can see the swamp right there. I've got the GPS out so you guys can see exactly where I am situated. So I'm at 70.2, 60.9. You can see on the map where I am. So we want to be here. We're looking at these rocks right here. And we're just going to basically go up this path just a little bit. And to our left, we will see the first ruin. Well, at least the first ruin for this episode. It's right here, and here we have our very first note for this particular video. Of course, I'm being attacked by raptors, and here we have the Plesiosaurus Dossier, and I'm just going to get some height here before I show you the map location and GPS coordinates. So we're basically going to go northwards. We're going to continue finishing the south part of the island and head up northwards on the eastern coast. Now from here we're going to go back towards the swamp, and to our right we'll see a cliff. So this is where we are. As you can see, it's kind of like in the tree line, so we'll follow this cliff right here all the way to the end. I'm going to try and do this slowly so you guys can see what happens. And as you can see, it does turn into this little basically swampy area. And over here to the left again we have another note. So this one is a nerve note. Again, we're gonna have to get some height here because we're being attacked by just about everything. Just kind of position here so you can see the map and where I'm located, and the coordinates are 71.1 by 57.9. Now not far from here there is another note that we can find. I'm just going to gain some height so you guys can see what the surrounding area looks like. We're going to go to the top of this mountain. If we call it a mountain, I guess it's a little mountain, and you can see there's some metal and crystal stuff down there. But if you look towards the northeast down here, you can see that there's some stones that's got a particular shape. So we're basically looking towards the green obelisk from the top. If we follow this downwards, we see another ruin and another nerve note. Alright, and my position on the map is here, and we'll look at the coordinates as well, which are 64.1 by 61.5. I'll leave these out for a little bit longer so you guys can note them down. Now from where we were, we're going to go towards the green obelisk right there. That's what we're going to use for a reference point. You can see that there's a bit of a cliffy area and stuff, but we're looking for the waterfall. So you can see the waterfall right there in front of us. That's our point of reference. And then you can see these cliffs right here, right next to this very weird looking cliff. We have these two pillars, and in between these two pillars we have another note. Again, this is another nerve note. And of course my location on the map, and the GPS coordinates, which are 54.7 by 70.7. So from this location we are going to go to the other side of this island, where we will find the next couple of notes on our journey. So I'm going to get some height. You can see where the green obelisk was. We're going to go all the way to this end. We're going to use this cliff pillar like structure, and over here we have two notes. So we're going to take the one that is on the ground first. And you can see there's a bit of a cliff right here between this pillar structure like thing, whatever it is, like an eagle nest, whatever. And we're going to go into the forest. We are then going to turn to the left. We're going to kind of head eastwards, and we should come across the next ruin, which of course will contain the next note. So you can see what this looks like. I have gammaed up. Alright, let me show you the map location and of course the GPS coordinates in a second. The GPS coordinates are as follows. They are 55.3 by 68.3. And this is where we are on the map. I'll keep this out for a bit longer. Now we're going to go back to where we were. So that is back out here. We're going to gamma down, otherwise it will be a bit too bright. And this structure right here again has a ruin on top of it, and over there we can see the note that we're going to get. This is a Helena note. And of course this is the Gigantosaurus note or dossier from Helena. I'm going to show you the map location. This is where we're at, and of course the GPS coordinates, which are 43.9 by 66.3. Alright, so from here we're going to go to the next location, which isn't far from here. And as you can see, this cliff here gets a bit of a funny structure. It's basically a pathway that leads into the jungle, so you can walk your dinosaurs into the jungle. So this is where we were. Alright, we're just basically going to go northeast, and we'll come across this path right here. And as you can see, it kind of zigzags into the forest. So this is the path basically that I'm on about. Now right here, of course, we have the ruin, and okay, we have another nerve note. Now I'm going to get some height here, show you the map. This is where we're at, and of course the GPS coordinates, which are 43.3 by 69.2. I do try and hover above them so you guys get the exact coordinates. Alright, this is where we're at right now. This is Herbivore Island. It's called that because of course it only spawns lots of herbivores. I'm going to show you exactly where I am right now. Alright, this is basically where I'm on the map. You can see the GPS coordinates, roughly speaking. And here we have, I think about 4 notes. I'm going to show you all 4 or 3 notes that we have. And the first one is, of course, right here. It is between these rocks. Again, this is a Helena note, and this is the Megalania Dossier. And of course, I'm going to show you the map for whatever it counts. And of course, the exact coordinates are 84.4 by 84.1. So not far from where we started here. Now we're going to follow the right side of this island as we're looking towards the mainland. And we can see some rocks. And right there next to that rock, we can see a little green box containing another Helena Dossier note. This one is the Hesperornis. And let me show you the map. I mean, this really doesn't show anything, but the coordinates are 81.6 by 84.1. So again, not far from here, if we follow this ridge, we'll go right towards this little island right here. Again, we're staying to the right side. We have another little box from Helena with the Hynodon Dossier. So there were a total of 3 notes around Herbivore Island that we could collect. Again, location on the map. And here are the coordinates, which are 80.9 by 81.8. Right, so from this location, we're going to go towards the mainland. We can see the cliff in front of us, and we're going to start going towards these rocks right here. This is where we will find the next note, or where we'll start looking for the next note from. And yeah, so Herbivore Island, those rocks right there. And if we look to our left, we can see some rocks, and in between the rocks, we can see again some ruins with another note. Here we have the Stegosaurus Dossier. And of course, map location, which doesn't really help that much, but I'm going to show it anyways. And the coordinates are 78.3 by 79.0. If we follow this cliff around, we are going to go to the next note, which is basically at the tree line, or where the cliff and the trees meet. We're going to go around it and just slightly into it, and you can see right there, it's a pretty big ruin, so you can get it quite easily. This is another Helena note, and this is where I'm at on the map with the coordinates of 77.2 by 76.4. I'm going to make my way back out here this way, and we're going to follow the cliff around. This is where things can get a bit tricky, but if you just follow what I tell you, you should find them quite easily. And by following the cliff, we found another note from Helena. So we can see this right here. This is where I'm at on the map. It doesn't really illustrate very well, but hey ho. 76.8 by 77.3 are the coordinates. We're going to continue following this cliff all the way around. So we're going to go around this area like so, and then just keep going up into the forest. We're going to have to gamma up so I can show you exactly what is going on and how the terrain changes. There is one note here that I do struggle with sometimes, but we will find it. And if we look to our right, we can see another cliff. So again, we're going to hug this cliff as well and just keep following it around. And to our left, we'll see another ruin, which is right behind these trees. So this is where we are right now. And let's go and crack this box open. And as you can see, we have the Ichthyosaurus Dossier. I'm going to show you the exact coordinates as well as the map location. Alright, here are the coordinates, 75.7 by 78.2. Now this next one can be a bit tricky to find, so what we're going to do is we're going to follow the cliff to the right up into the forest. And not far from this last note, we will find the Dimetrodon Dossier. I think I actually followed the wrong cliff, but we will find it, don't worry. I'll show you how to properly find it once I do get back to it. So again, this is quite easy to make a mistake. We want to follow the cliff around, and we'll come across to a rock where we'll take the left path. I'll show you that in a bit. Let me just kind of get my bearings here. As I said, this is one of those notes. There we go, that's the one. So this one is the Dimetrodon Dossier. I'll show you exactly how to path this, because as you saw there, even I got a bit lost. So I'm going to show you the GPS coordinates, which are 74.9 by 78.8. Right, so this is what we were at. So Ichthyosaurus Dossier. We're going to follow the cliff to the right. We'll come up to this rock. This basically gives us two paths. We can have the right path or the left path. We're going to follow it around to the left, and then after this cliff on the left, we can see the structure that actually had the Dimetrodon Dossier. So that's basically what you needed to do. That's where I kind of got lost a wee bit. So 74.9 by 78.8 are the coordinates for this particular note. Right, from here we are going to go into the forest. So basically this is what the structure looks like. We're going to kind of align ourselves with it. There's a little hole in the trees. We're not going to go down that path. So we're going to kind of go, yeah, we're going to head south. That's basically the best way I can describe it. Or southeast, but mostly south. And we'll come out in this opening. Here we can see a pretty big structure. And of course this is a ruin. And in this ruin we will find the next note, which is in this corner right here. And of course this is the Spinosaurus Dossier. And again, this kind of does not really show where we are on the map, but hey ho, 75.7 by 79.7 are the coordinates for this particular dossier. Alright, so here we are where we had the last note. From here we are going to follow the beach around, and we can see that basically it turns into a river. We can see a cliff to our right side with two sort of structures and rocks that stand out. In between them we will find the next ruin that contains, of course, a Rockwell Note. So we'll go and pick this up. So as you can see, we have here a Rockwell Note. I'm going to show you the map location as well as the GPS coordinates. As always, here we are. And the GPS coordinates are 75.4 by 74.0. Now, from this location, we're going to head on to the next place where we will find a note. So we're going to align ourselves with the structure basically and go in a straight line, basically going into the forest. So just keep going eastwards from that last ruin, and we can see the next ruin in front of us. This is what the surrounding area sort of looks like. It's between the bamboo trees. I nearly forgot what they were called. This is what the structure looks like. You can see the note is on the right side of that wall structure. So we'll just go around it and pick it up. Of course, I have aggroed all of the bugs in the forest because why not? Of course, this is another Rockwell Note. Okay, and I'm going to show you the map location. This is where I'm at, and here are the GPS coordinates, which are 75.7 by 75.5. Now, from here we can see, I'm just going to get some height a bit, not too much, because I want to show you exactly what we're looking for. So if we look around, we can see in front of us right there a bit of a cliff. We're going to go to this cliff, and we're going to follow it towards the west around. Just keep following the cliff. Go around with it. And eventually we will come to this area right here, and we can see in front of us another ruin. It's kind of an opening as well, so that does help kind of let us know that we are in the right direction. In between these little pillars right here, we have another Helena note, and this one is the Obelisk Dossier. And of course I'm going to show you my coordinates and of course map location, which doesn't always help, but hey ho. 73.3 by 74.1 are my GPS coordinates for this particular location. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to get some height. We're going to get quite a bit of height, and we're going to show you the surrounding area. That's what the cliff looks like. And if we look in that direction, so basically eastwards, yeah, we're going to look eastwards. We're looking for the highest point of this island. That's what we're going for, which is this right here. And from there, we're going to face, hold on, let me get the highest point. So this is the highest point of this island. We're going to look north, and we can see a gap there. And let me just show you the GPS. So we're basically looking northeast. Alright, that's where we want to go. I just think this way it's easier to explain. I'm going to show you the surrounding area just in case. And we're just going to go this way, and you can see we have a single standing pillar-like structure, and behind it we have the next Helena note, and this one is the Dimetrodon Dossier. Again, I'm being attacked by raptors, so let me just get some height here so they don't bug us, and I'll show you the exact map location and of course GPS coordinates as always, and they are 72.3 by 78.1. Right, this is where we are right now. Let me just show you the surrounding areas. So we follow this river inwards basically, and you can see that's where Herbivore Island is. We follow this river. We can see this this cliff-like structure. There's also a ramp going up to the top of the cliff, so we're going to follow the ramp. I'm going to gamma down a tad bit. So if we follow this natural land ramp upwards and then look to our left, we can see a ruin again, and in this ruin we have the next note that we're going to be looking for. And let me just show you what this ruin looks like from all angles, and then we will show you where the note is held. So it is actually down this way. Hold on a second. I am moving a bit too fast sometimes in this flight mode. Hold on a second. It is somewhere around here. Could it be down here? Okay, okay, there it is. So this one is a Nerva note. I was expecting to look for a Helena Dossier, but no, it's the Nerva notes. And again, attacked by raptors, so I'm just going to get some height here. And this is where we're on the map, and the coordinates are 69.6 by 84.5. Now we're going to go down the beach. We're going to go this way, and we can see a very interesting thing happen here. So we got this path that kind of, yeah, I don't even know how to describe this, but basically it turns into like a cliff-like structure. It's a Y shape. We're looking for this big rock that stands out right in the bend. I'm going to follow it towards the west. Here we see a fairly flat piece of ruin with a hell of a note. So we'll pick that up as well. I'm going to show you the coordinates. I probably didn't explain that as good as I should have, but I did try. I'm trying to keep the time on these as short as possible. So coordinates are 61.1 by 81.4. There are a lot of notes. I do want to try and get through them as quick as possible. Alright, normal gamma, here we are, and this is where we are right now. I'm going to get some height. So that is the river that we went down not long ago. So if we follow the river this way, we can see the green obelisk. We will go to the location for the next note, and that is where we were before. And basically, that's the green obelisk. That's what we're going to use to guide ourselves towards our next location. Follow the river this way, and right about here, basically what this island is, you can see this cliff with two rocks that stand out. Yeah, in between them, we want to just head up into the forest, where of course we're basically going towards the green obelisk. On the GPS, we're basically going northwest, and here we see the pillar, and next to the pillar, that is a ruin, of course, we have the next note, which is a Dimetrodon Dossier. So my map location is right here, and GPS coordinates are 66.9 by 76.7. Alright, now we are at the green obelisk. Alright, this is what we're going to use for a reference. We're going to basically look towards the north. So you can see there's two rocks right there. There's this right there. If we follow this rock, the second rock, all the way around, right underneath it, there's this flat platform. And here we have the next note, which is a Nerva note. So my location on the map, and of course the GPS coordinates, which are 55.2 by 75.8. Not far from here we have the next explorer note that we can find. So basically going to follow it to the right. We come to this cliffy area. You can see there's like a platform, and right underneath it there's a bit of, so basically from where we were, if you follow this flat platform thing, so this structure right here that I'm above, we will come to a point where it ends right underneath it, of course, is the next ruin with the next note. So let me just kind of show you. So as you can see, it ends right there quite abruptly, and underneath it we have the next explorer note. Again, this is a Nerva note. And let me just kind of do this. There we go. This is where I'm at. And the GPS coordinates are 53.6 by 77.6. So from here, there is that rock structure right there. Basically, we can see a bit of a swampy area. Right in between those rocks, we will find the next note. So this is where we're at. If you are on the ground, you're basically going to head towards those rocks. So we're just going to do that. And basically underneath the second rock, there is a ruin. And on that ruin, we have a hell of a note. This one is the Ichthyosaurus Dossier. So my location on the map, and of course the GPS coordinates, which are 52.9 by 79.7. Alright, so from this location we're going to head back to the cliff, and we're going to follow it around. We're going to look at the base of the cliff, where we'll see some weird like structures right at the base. You can see them right there, so they kind of protrude out right at the base. Third one, and then basically come to this little area right here. We look to the left, we can see this gap in the tree line, and in that gap we can actually see a very small ruin. Of course, in this ruin we have the next Nerva note, and let me show you the map location and GPS coordinates as well. Alright, this is where I'm at on the map, and of course the GPS coordinates are 49.3 by 79.0. Now from this point on, if we look to the, I would say, northeast, we can see that the path kind of goes that way, and so that's the clearance of trees, and we just follow the one that goes towards the north, and then we come to this structure right here. It's quite unique because we have quite a few of these flat ridges kind of protruding out of the hill. So this is what we're looking for. The one over here towards the forest, if we go and look underneath it, there's a tree that starts, and right underneath the tree, of course, there is another Rockwell Note. Of course, I'm being attacked by raptors, but that's what it is. So I'll show you my map location. There we go. And of course, the GPS coordinates, which are 44.0 by 81.3. Alright, so the next one is a bit more challenging to find. This is where we were previously at. We're going to go back to this upper platform. If we look behind us, we can see what it looks like. We want to kind of come around this area, and we are going to head northwest in the forest, and this will bring us on to the next ruin that contains the next node. It can be a bit tricky. Just basically use your GPS to kind of stay on track. Remember, we're going north by northwest, and right there to our right is, of course, the ruin that contains the next note. Eventually, there we go. So, close this up. I'll show you my GPS coordinates and map location, and as you can see, we're right at the bottom of a mountain. And the GPS coordinates are 40.5 by 78.6. So this is the mountain we're looking for. Again, we are at the same location as we were for the previous note. So we're going to start from the same spot. We're going to go northwest, but this time around, we're going to aim a bit more for the west side. And we want to keep our eyes on the ground because there's a flat piece of ruin. You can see it right there in front of us. Very easy to miss, if I'm honest. And this is the next Explorer note. And of course, I'm going to show you the map location. This one is for the Kairuku, so it is a dossier. And this is where I'm at. And of course, the coordinates are 42.5 by 79.6. Now, if we continue heading westward from that location, we'll come to these rocks and just keep going. We'll see some big rocks. We're going to go around them, and eventually we come out in this direction. You can see what it looks like. Mainly, we're just focusing to the west, so we can see that there's a mountain there in front of us. And of course, behind us, we will have the green obelisk. So we're going to go towards the green obelisk, and we're going to come to this lake right here that has these weird looking ridges sticking out. And if we look towards the northeast, we can see some structures, some giant stone pillars, and in between them we have another ruin. Of course, here we have another note. So this is where we're at the moment. I'm going to show you, as per usual, the map location and GPS coordinates. This is where I'm at. And the GPS coordinates are 44.0 by 76.9. Now, from this location, we're going to go basically to the mountain that was in front of us. So we have the green obelisk behind us. We're heading towards this mountain. This is where we want to be careful because gigas do spawn on this mountain. But protruding out of the mountain, we can see that there is this structure that has one of the notes. So it's quite easy to spot. And of course, I am going to show you the map and of course the GPS coordinates, which are 36.2 by 79.0. Now from here, we're going to head on to the left. We can see the beginnings of a ruin and of course a tree, so we know we're on the right direction. Again, we have another Nerva note, and Once this is finished, I will then show you once again the map and the GPS coordinates. Let me just reposition right there. And the coordinates are 35.6 by 78.0. From here on, we're going to go to the right. We're going to go past where the structure that was protruding out the mountain was placed before, and just follow it around. And we're looking for 2 trees. This is our landmark right there. It is actually quite hidden, but you can see that there is a ruin there. And let me just kind of get some height here to show you where it is. So it's right there. And of course here we have another note. This is a Helena note, and it is the Electrophorus Dossier. Nearly forgot what the name was. So this is where I'm at, and these are the coordinates, which are 36.4 by 81.4. From here, we're going to head to the top of the mountain to find the next notes. So here I am, basically at the top of the mountain. That is the previous ruin that we checked. And this is basically what we can see from the top. There's quite a few ridges that we can look down on. And if we follow this ridge right here towards the north, just follow it all the way down, we'll kind of go towards the opening that has basically, so the ocean turns into a river, and around here we can see that there is a ruin that has another Helena note. So that's basically what we're looking for. We're looking for the place, or we're heading towards the area where the ocean turns into a river, or the river spills into the ocean. It's probably better geographically speaking. You can see there's a giga right there. From here on, of course, we'll have another note, but I'm just going to show you the map location and the GPS coordinates first, which are 30.0 by 78.0. Now, from here, we're going to head towards the sea. So that is Cardinal Island in front of us. And if we look back on the mountain, we can see that there is a cliff. Yeah, so you can see this cliff right here. This is what we're looking for. It's basically, if we kind of go right here, we can see that the cliff kind of, or the hill turns into a cliff. If we follow this around this way, we can see that it starts going in back on itself. So it kind of bends inwards, then comes back outwards. This is what we're looking for. This is our landmark. And at this point, we're going to start looking to the southwest and just go into the forest. You can see the glow of alpha raptors, but there is also a ruin underneath the alpha raptors. So I'm just going to get a bit of height here just to be on the safe side so we don't get pushed around. Of course, this is the Diplocalis Dossier, and let me just show you the map and the GPS coordinates. So this is where I'm at on the map, and the GPS coordinates are 27.5 by 82.5. Alright, so this is where we were before. We're going to get some altitude here. We're going to go back towards the top of the mountain because we're going to head back down it. We're basically looking for this ridge right here. Yeah, but I'm going to show you how to find it from the top of the mountain just because I think it's easier. But from this ridge right here, there's also another ruin that we can find with another note. So you can see this, the way this looks and how it looks if we look upwards. But let's see from the top of the mountain what we're looking for. So this is it. You can see that there's this weird looking rock structure that kind of protrudes out of the normal structure of the mountain. If we follow it downwards towards the east, basically we'll come to this point right here. If we look back on us and on ourselves, we can see that it's kind of going upwards with a rock sticking out of it. We don't want to go too far down because the ruin is slightly further up, but this is what you'll see if you go too far. So we don't want to get to the tree line. It's actually closer up here. So let me just position myself. So if you look down, you can see there's 2 rocks right there, and then another 3 rocks to the right. In between those 3 rocks, of course, that is where we find the ruin with the next note. So 2 rocks followed by another 3 rocks. In between them, of course, we have the next note. And again, we're being attacked by raptors. Let me reposition. So I'm going to show you the map location, which is right here. And of course, the GPS coordinates, which are 30.1 by 82.3. This is where we had the last note. Now from here on, we're going to go back to the top of the mountain. And this time around, we're going to look towards, so that's Cardinal Island right there. We're going around this way. And we're basically looking towards the west. You can see the river. There's basically a bit of a ridge in the mountain. We want to head towards that valley just before the trees. So we'll just do that. And down here, you can see there's a bit of clearance. But to our right, we should find a ruin. You can see it right there. It is a bit flat, but it is quite easy to spot because it's out in the open. And I'm going to show you the map location, of course, the GPS coordinates. The coordinates are 32.3 by 73.3. Now, from this location, we are going to get some altitude. We're going to go to the river. So follow this river inwards, and you can see that if we go this way, we kind of go towards where the eagle nests are. So basically that's where we're going. But right here, yeah, you can see there's a bit of a cliff. It goes into like a ramp state. Then we have another cliff right here. So if we go any further down, we have the next eagle nest and a ruin, but I'll show you that later in a bit. So this is the kind of area that we're looking for. We want the first cliff that goes downwards, basically where it turns into like a rampy area. We're going to follow it up, and you already saw it. It's right behind this bush. We have, of course, a ruin, and that is the next note that we're going to pick up. Get some altitude here, and there we go. This is where I am on the map, and the GPS coordinates are 39.1 by 71.1. Now from here, we're going to continue basically going to the north. And if we keep following this river to the north, we'll come to this point right here. We can see some rocks, and they are kind of like in a U shape. We're basically going to go to this rock right here. Looking, we can see some green rocks that have moss on them. We're just going to go into the forest and follow those rocks. And to our right, we should see, or is it to the left? Yeah, it's to the left. We should see a pillar right there. So again, I'm just going to repeat this. This one is a bit difficult to find. We see these rocks right there. They almost form like a dam, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a semicircle type of thing. And we kind of head into the forest. We can see that we have a chest that contains another of the Helena dossiers. This one is, of course, the Dimetrodon dossier. And here we have the map location, and the GPS coordinates are 28.4 by 74.1. Now from here, we're going to head on to Cardinal Island. This one has quite a few notes. This is what it looks like from the air. We're going to start from this little island right here. So if we look at it, there's basically like this little patch of island, whatever. You can see that there's a ruin right there, but there isn't a note next to it because the note is actually in the center of this island. So let me just kind of show you what it looks like. Ruin right there, note right there. I'm going to show you where we are on the map in a couple of seconds. And then, of course, I'm going to show you the GPS coordinates as well. Let me just get the glare out. This is where we are on the map. And the coordinates are 20.0 by 85.8. Now, from here, we're going to get some altitude. We look towards the mainland where the carnivores are. We're going to follow the beach to the left. Just keep following it around until you see these stone structures, basically. So we're looking for this gap right here. If we look to the right, we can see that there's like a cliffy area with a path going up. But this is what we're looking for. In between these rocks, there is the next note. If we look back on ourselves, we can see the mountain that we were up on. And so this is kind of gives us a general idea. But there is the note right there. And this one is a Helena note. and I'm going to show you my GPS coordinates and map location in a bit. So this is where I'm at on the island right now, and of course the coordinates are 16.2 by 81.1. We're going to continue following the beach around, and this time we're going to look to the left. We can see another bunch of rocks. This one has a ruin and of course a note attached to it. So this one is the Bizzlebufo, or the frog. And of course when you have the map up, there we are, and here are the GPS coordinates. They are 14.8 by 81.4. We are going to continue following the beach around, which will lead us to a fairly decent sized ruin. Remember, this is full of carnivores, but you can see the ruin in front of us. It is quite big, and the note is fairly easy to spot. There we have it. This one is a Rockwell Note. So this is where I'm at on the map right now, and of course the GPS coordinates, which are 14.0 by 85.9. And from here on, so this is the way we came. We're going to go around this side, continue following the island around. We're looking for that structure right there, so we can see what the center looks like. There is actually a hidden ruin. It's right here. So it is slightly underneath the cliffs, which can make it a bit difficult to spot, but this one is of course for the Dung Beetle. So my location on the map, and of course the GPS coordinates, which are 16.5 by 85.1. So this is where we are. This is a bit of a weird one to find. You can see there's a cliff that kind of has a bit of a gap on the inside, if that makes sense, and in it is a room that is hidden. And that's pretty much it for this video right now. I did cover quite a vast area of the map. Of course, we are going to carry on with the notes in the next couple of episodes. I do apologize for how rare the videos are nowadays, but this type of video does take a lot of time and work to make. Eventually we will have a full length supercut video that will contain all the notes all in one video. Until then, I'm just going to be working my way through the content one step at a time. It does take a bit of effort from my side to actually make something like this. So if you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative, please don't forget to show your support by hitting that like button and leaving a comment. And until next time, stay safe, folks.